Hello, hello, and welcome to Pop the Kettle On. And today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be interviewing some of our tribe members, and today we have Bianca de Reus. Did I say that right this time?
Yes, you did.
Yes, awesome. Um, Bianca is our animal communicator and soul communicator, and she has been one of the most amazing people to have on this tribe right now. She's been such a big help in getting all the technical aspects as well as all our nitty gritty to getting what we do happen smoothly, because things don't happen that smoothly in the co-op all the time. It takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of brainstorming to what you see out there. So thank you so much for being a part of this community, and thank you so much for just being you.
Well, thank you. It's an absolute honor to work with you and with Mish, and being part of the co-op. I mean, it's definitely in my alignment, and I just love doing it. So it's amazing.
Thank you. So tell us a little bit about you and what you do and how you started. So for those who don't know, Bianca is also the author of Hello, Can You Hear Me? Ta-da!
That was not prepared, but it was just sitting there. Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about, how you came about to writing your book, and, how you came about to doing what you do right now?
Oh, wow. Let's see if I can summarize that. Because that's
Maybe start with where you've come from.
Sorry?
Maybe start with where you're from.
Yeah. Because that's been like 15 years in the making. So I originate from the Netherlands, and I moved to Australia 24 years ago. So I've been here a while. I live in Sydney, Australia, and my mission in life is to awaken to self-love, awaken to harmony and joy. And I do that through animal communication and soul connection. So the book eventuated because I really wanted to make sure that I could reach a broader audience in understanding what soul connection is and how we can actually have a clear channel of communication to our higher self, to other beings, and our animal friends. So, and I love animals. I've always had animals around me in my life. And it wasn't until I had Rosie and Toby that whole process of listening to them and hearing them started. But way before that, I started to identify my spiritual abilities, and that I did have other skill sets that humans normally don't tap into. And so my journey started off by identifying energies that I had and could sense. I could sense energies around me. I could hear certain voices coming through as well. And I started off really understanding energy first. And that got me on my Reiki energy healing journey. So I got my Reiki master qualification, and that really opened things up for me as well. And then, because I was working in corporate at that time, and that had a completely different nuance, because for me, corporate, I was always very analytical and, operating from that space, all the human skills. And so this was very foreign to me in a way. But now that I look back, it also made sense because it was familiar at the same time, but I didn't realize it back then. And then in 2011, I went on a bushwalk with a friend. And that's when the first time I encountered an animal connecting with me, because I heard in my head, "Hello, can you hear me?" And that's where the name of the book comes from. And so I initially thought, wow, I've experienced all of this energy stuff, and now I'm hearing voices as well. That's going beyond anything I can even comprehend. So that's crazy. So I'd ignored it. But then the voice came back a few times, "Hello, can you hear me?" And it became more firm and persistent, to the point where in my head I was like, okay, I can hear you. Who are you? And the voice went, "I'm a snake, and I need to make sure that you can hear me, because you need to go out into the world and do your job. Connect animals with the humans. And I was sitting there going, what is this? I'm just making this up.
I know spirit is so clear when they actually.
Absolutely.
Mm,
Very clear, very persistent if they really need to get the message through.
yes.
So it was, and I was in my mind, I was going, this is absolute nuts. So I actually asked, can you show yourself? Because I didn't believe it. And the snake goes, I would love to, but I'm not going to. The friend that's sitting next to you, she's afraid of snakes and I don't want to upset her. Go out, do your job, connect animals with humans. And they took off. And I was sitting there going, what was that? And my friend looked at me and she goes, what just happened? Something happened. I can see it in your face. Tell me. And I look at her and I go, are you afraid of snakes? And she literally turns white as a ghost, jumps up, starts looking around. And I'm like, okay. I did
What
not
just
know
happened
this.
there? Yep.
But that was a validation. And then on the
Mm.
way back on the trail, there was also another lizard that approached us as well. But the great thing was, as I said before, my dogs, Rosie and Toby, who are actually on my book cover as well, representation of them. Toby in particular used to always sit in front of me hours on end, and he would just stare. And I would sometimes look at him going, you're probably telling me a lot, but I have no idea because I can't hear you, nothing. That day, when I came home after that walk and after the encounter with the snake, I open the door, and as dogs do, they run up towards you. And all of a sudden, Toby stops. He sits down. He looks at me, and I was hearing loud and clear, oh my God, you can finally hear me. And all this information came over me. And I looked at him going, mate, you need to stop. I have no idea what this is. This is all too much. I need to, let all this sink in. But he was absolutely so excited that he could finally share what he was, sharing with me all those years, that I could now finally understand. So from that day on, I just investigated more around that, did a lot of research, did a few workshops around animal communication just to get my analytical, practical mind on board with what was happening. And then I started to evolve and create my own ways of communicating. And that really opened up other levels again. It's almost like you're being leveled up all the time by spirit, to now being able to channel and communicate with spirit beings, communicate with galactic beings, animals all the time. Whenever I'm switched on, they just continuously have conversations. So it's been an amazing journey ever since. Yeah, it's been.
So
really
you've got to be switched on. For our viewers out there, you got to turn it on for it to happen, don't you?
Consciously, yes. I would certainly suggest to have your channels open to be able to connect. However, I have a trusting, open channel to animals all the time. So whenever I go outside, I always connect up with, the birds, whoever is around, really. But that's my choice. And I know I am safe in that space to be able to do that. If you're not experienced as yet, what I would suggest you do in the beginning to really understand what your boundaries are when you are spiritually connecting. And always ask, I'm opening myself to connect. However, those who have the best intentions for me in pure love and light are able to connect with me. And that basically sets the boundary so that nobody else that doesn't have the best intentions for you can come through. But that's how I've learned how to actually, set those boundaries and have that protection around me, that nothing else can come through, only those beings that come with pure love and light.
And it's so important, those boundaries, because I found that when I first started, that was the same thing. Everyone will be talking to you and you're like, oh my goodness, it's middle of the night. I need to sleep. Yeah. Come back 9 to 5.
Exactly. And that's exactly that, because people go, oh yeah, but if I then close myself off, nothing will come through. Well, no, that's not the case. Yeah. You set your rules, you set the times when you're available. It's the same when you work with clients or you go to your job, these are the hours I'm available to you. And it's the same with spirit. You need to also make sure that you look after yourself, because it can be an extremely draining exercise to continuously be open. You need to just, have that closure sometimes to just take care of yourself, recharge your
Yeah.
batteries, you know, and that's really important in this work. Absolutely.
Brilliant, brilliant. Now, have you always been spiritual? Were you brought up in a spiritual household?
I think I've always been spiritual, that I can remember feeling I was very different from other people.
Mm,
And I do remember when I was little, every time I was, you know, just by myself in my room, I was always talking to others, but never really, it never really clicked until I started opening up. And when I first started, my mum had also started her journey in becoming spiritually awake. So through her, I was introduced to Reiki healing. She actually got me to, because I was telling her what I was experiencing, and she actually said to me, "You need to let go of your energy. It feels like you're nearly combusting.
mm,
So, you know, this is what you need to do." And that's how I found out about Reiki healing, and that really helped. I mean, I grew up in a family where there wasn't really any spirituality. You know, my dad was raised Catholic, my mom more Protestant than anything. So my parents always raised us with the intention of allowing us to choose
mm.
whether we wanted to align with a specific religion. So when I was 12, I was really attracted to Catholicism. So I did everything, like I learned from the Bible, I did all the steps to be initiated into that religion. But as I grew older, I was like, that was really fantastic. I loved the stories, and I loved, you know, certain things that came through in terms of, you know, just being a loving human
Mm.
being. But I also grew into knowing I don't need a religion to be myself and to live in this world. So even after I was baptized, I even didn't go to church anymore because for
Mm.
me, that was like, I love going to a church, but more so because it does come with a certain energy and a certain vibration. However, it's
Correct.
more about the building and the history and who's visited there. That's what attracts me to, you know, buildings and churches and mosques and all that sort of thing as well. And I love learning about the different religions. And I believe that being spiritual, I do take on elements of certain religions because they all come from that universal energy source. That's where it stems from. So we
Well,
can tap into as
at
and
the
when
end
we
of the
want.
day, it's all, I mean, every religion talks about the same thing, doing good, you
Yeah.
know, reaching that, attaining that, you know, nirvana, heaven, you know, whatever
Mm,
they want to call it. It's
yeah.
all, you know, the different nuances, the different language and semantics, really, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
finding your, I think from how I've experienced it, it's really finding what you can utilize for yourself out of all those learnings. You know, and I feel it's important to be open to any learning, no matter
Mm.
what that is, because that helps you to evolve as a human being, and it also helps you to bring yourself more into alignment with your own soul in preparation for going back home after we leave this physical plane.
I love that, because
Mm.
that was my next question, you know, what does that spirituality mean to you? You know, what is it? What are we here for? I mean, what is the spirituality helping? How is the spirituality helping you develop as a person?
For me, it's oh goodness, it's more a feeling than a tool or a religion or a method or anything like that. Spirituality for me, it's all that it is. You know, for me, it's like I am a spiritual being first,
Mm.
and I'm using this body to have an earth experience. My family, my earth family is here. My earth friends are here, but I'm my actual family and friends, they are up there. They are always connecting in. And I also believe that we all have a connection together. because we come from that place, we are already connected. So when you said about, why are we here? That's very individual. It's, you come here in a physical form with an intention. You already have decided, this is where I want to live, this is who I want around me, this is what I want to experience and learn. And ultimately, it's all about discovering what that is throughout your lifetime. And that's why we all have a different experience and a different intention. But in the end, like you say, it all comes back to the same thing. It's all about being kind, compassionate, unconditional love, and really enjoy from a place of love what you are experiencing here on earth. And that to me is spirituality. That's the pure connection. And we've lost it along the way. But because also the human experience is so intense that we often forget that we are also connected to our soul and connected to our soul friends. And that's what I help people bring back into alignment, to help our human side come back into alignment with our soul. And they actually collaborate for you to have the best experience here and to come back to unconditional love. And that can take many shapes and forms for each person individually.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's really amazing. I've got a set of questions down here, but you seem to be going through them already. So I love it. And how has your business evolved as you're working with the animals, and have you seen a difference in how you're communicating with people, human, and the different beings around you?
I have. I feel like I'm more free in my communication, and I feel like I'm more communicating my truth. And the animals have certainly taught me to absolutely be myself unapologetically and to speak my truth no matter what. Throughout me connecting with the animals, sometimes I didn't really tell exactly what they told me to tell their human guardians. And I was literally slapped on the wrist by a spirit going, you need to share every single word that comes out of your mouth. They have to hear it. Because sometimes these things that come through are quite difficult, because there are very, very personal things that I'm learning about the humans around the animals that I need to relate to them. And that can be challenging to share. However, I've now learned to not take it personally for me, because I can get affected by it, because I care so much for the humans as well as for the animals. I really come from a place of, I am the messenger for your animal. Therefore, everything that he or she shares with me, you need to hear, whether it resonates right now or not. And my work has evolved now that I don't just communicate with the animals because of the animal. They don't need the help. They've told me, we're fine. We can heal ourselves. We don't need the help. If there is an accident or a physical ailment, of course, it's great. We have the veterinary doctors there to help out as well, and they can indicate to me whether they need one. But most of the time, probably about 82 to 85% of the time, animals come to me because they have messages for their humans, because the humans need to change. Animals present themselves with a behavioral change or an illness or aches and pains, because that's when the humans start to pay attention, going, oh my God, something wrong is with my pet. I need to find someone to help them. But most of the time, it's all about the humans need to change their behavior. And the animals help me to identify that. And therefore, work evolved into, it's not just me connecting soul to soul to the animals. And I also need to do that with the humans as well, and help them raise their vibration, get into alignment to have a much better experience.
Wonderful. That is so beautiful. I mean, that's just amazing to be able to do that. And I guess the more we realize what we're doing, we're actually helping humanity. And a lot of our furry friends, our animal friends, are here to help us along the way.
Yeah.
Like the old witches, always had their familiars and their little cat or their owl that followed them around, that, brought a different energy, a different grounding that helped us connect with the earth. And like I always talk about the crystalline grid in our earth, and we tap into that, into the divine of the land, to be able to get what we need.
Yeah.
And I guess this is what you're doing as well, in connecting through the animals and helping people.
Yeah, exactly. And, and I use other tools for that as well. Like, for example, I use oils to enhance the connection. And I go back to nature to enhance connection. So I love what you said as well about the familiars, that we have. Every single person has a spirit animal with them. And those are their familiars. Every single person might be attracted to a certain type of animal. For me, that's dogs first, horses second, and then cheetahs. So they all come with a completely different energy and vibration that I'm personally really attracted to, that I can work with, and learn from at the same time.
I always forget how similar we are, because you've just talked about a cheetah. One of my spirit guides is a black panther.
Nice.
And I always know, because when midnight comes in, it's always about finding the balance. And, the cougar, the panther, they're amazing for that. They can jump really high and never miss a beat.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah,
and
the
also
big
the strength that they represent, right?
Yes.
The strength that they have, and that empowerment that they feel for themselves, the courageous way how they show up. That to me is just absolutely fascinating.
Yeah. If you could give a tip to someone on how they could connect with their spirit animal and bring this connection into their everyday life, what would that be?
To connect with your spirit animal, it's asking for that animal to show themselves. And you can only do that by becoming very quiet for yourself and literally place your hands on your heart, connect to your heart center first, and ask them to show themselves. And you may do that through closing your eyes, or maybe have some guiding music with you as well. And the minute you tune into that and you start seeing in your mind's eye maybe a shape or a form, or you can hear a voice, or you might even get a word of a specific animal coming straight into your mind, then that's a spirit animal. Also, sometimes you may even be able to draw that animal too. Sit in quiet and just take a pen and paper and just start drawing and see what comes in when you are in that connected, quiet space. And that's really important. And some people have more than one, which is amazing. And you can do the same process for meeting your spirit guide.
Now, do you find that process slightly different and the way they communicate slightly different?
Yes. Yeah.
And how for you, what does that feel like? The difference between communicating with spirit, human, and animal.
Interesting. Every single person and animal and spirit, they all come with a slightly different vibrational level that's unique to them.
Yeah.
And that's how I recognize them. When I connect, for example, with animals, they even allow me to hear their voice, which then is a representation of their personality. And I've even noticed clients tell me when I get into a communication that my voice changes to match the animal. And so for me, I sense a lot and I hear very well. When I start using my hands to amplify the energy healing, then I start to see pictures and shapes and things like that too. So, and that can be very different for everybody. Now, when I teach about, spiritually awakening and identifying what your spiritual abilities are, I always take my clients through a process of identifying what are your learning styles. What is your preferred way of learning something new? Would you like to watch a movie, listening to an audio tape? Would you like to read a book? Do you want to sit in on a lecture? Because your preferred way of learning and absorbing information is the way that spirit communicates with you, because they know that is the best way for you to hear us and understand our messages.
Mm.
You know, some people can describe, me too. I mean, I can describe a person that stands in front of me, not even seeing them, but I feel their energy and vibration. So I can then describe what they look like. Now, how that's translated, I've stopped analyzing that because that drove me nuts. You know, we all speak in universal language, and it's all done through energy and through vibration. And that is, it's hard to comprehend for the human brain. And that really drove me into a bit of a depression quite a few years ago, to fully comprehend what that is. Now I just accept it. I feel what I feel, I hear what I hear, I see what I see. And that just, yeah, that forms a story, and that's what I can verbalize. Yeah.
Beautiful. So tell me also a little bit about your vision, your mission, and your message to the world. And
Wow.
what do you think you're here to do? Because that's always a big thing, isn't it? Trying to.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Look, my mission is literally very simple. I would love every human being to be aligned with their soul, so that they can experience the unconditional love and actually have joy in those connections, and to create harmony all around the world with all beings, no matter what. So that's my big mission. And my vision as well, because I want to see everyone really respect and love and enjoy each other, you know, for the time that we are here.
Mm.
And I also feel that that has a really beautiful effect when we go back home into the spirit world. So everything I do is connected to that. Yeah, for sure.
And lastly, tell us about what you love most about what you do in your life right now. What's the exciting things that are happening for you?
Oh, wow. What do I love most? Well, I love the relationships that I have currently, the people that I have around me. I love seeing people evolve. I love being able to facilitate the process for them. And I love the unknown. You know, we all have
Mm.
our goals. I have a clear vision of what I want to create in my life. And I just love that whole exploring what I can do to create that, you know, but
Yeah.
not just by myself. You know, you and I have a really great connection, so we always
Mm-hmm.
explore those possibilities of what we can do. And
That's right.
you know, so, and that's what I love, because we help each other in that way. And that really creates a beautiful life for me, but also for the
Mm.
loved ones around me. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's
And what?
definitely lots and lots and lots of animals involved.
And lots and lots. Yeah. 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 Uh, Tell me what you love most about the spiritual co-op right now and how it's evolving.
I'm excited about the future with the spiritual co-op. I'm excited that we are creating a community
Mm.
of people who all, they do very different things in their own unique way, but we are all collectively working on the same outcomes, the same vision. And that's what I love about this, because we are very much aligned in how we work, how we connect, and with all the different products and services that each person brings. That makes it fun, that makes it exciting, and it makes it very, very diverse, you know, because we are all
Mm.
very, very unique. But I also love the fact that we can invite each other to grow. We can invite each other to show up, you know, and to be seen, because I feel that it's really important for us to be seen. More
Mm.
people are waking up right now, and we all have a tool, a service, or a product that can help them waking up. And for us to grow the co-op and to be seen around the world, you know, brings more people in who are seeking that support with their awakening. And that's really
Mm.
beautiful. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing all your wisdom with us today.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for being here. Bianca can be found on her website, www.biancadereus.com, as well as you can find her on the Spiritual Co-op in our directory at our
Yes.
services hub. So make sure you stop by and visit and have a look and check us out and see all the other beautiful conscious creators there. In the next couple of months, weeks and months, I will be doing the series of getting to know the tribees and getting to know what everyone does, because it's important to put it out to the world. And as Bianca just said, we want everyone to be seen and to be truly seen for whom they are, what they do, and their gifts that they're bringing to the world right now. And it's just so important that we have that community and group, that we can have the support from each other to be able to do that, because no man is an island.
No.
And we and we are social beings, and we need that, the communication and the camaraderie
Yeah.
that goes with it.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. And especially now in this day and age, what's happening around the world, it is so much more important to do this together and not by ourselves. So, but thank you for creating the spiritual co-op, because that's a gift for all of us. So that's amazing.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you again for being on. If you guys have any questions, make sure you drop those questions in the comments below, and the Bianca and I will be able to reply to, and we endeavor to reply to every single one of them. So ask away. Don't be shy. There are no stupid questions, because it's
Absolutely.
always important to ask.
Yeah.
So until next week, from our heart to yours, take care of yourself and the people around you. And thank you very much for joining us. And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.